Next class, we will just spend more time learning about the other equations and doing problems from here. So I know there are 6 pages, but there's really only 4 problems on a page mostly. And so it will be some work, but it's not, I don't think it's unreasonable. It's not like that balancing equations homework. I don't think. Okay, so before we start, we're going to do number 1. I have the first 3 problems set up with that table that we used when we did the titration formulas. Do you remember this layout? This is how I want you to learn how to do these problems. Oh, I've got homework to hand back to you. Don't let me forget that. I need you to make sure that you're doing all 3 of these introductory phases before you start solving actual math. Because if you don't get in the habit of doing this now when it is simple and easy, you won't be able to do it later on in your life when it gets more complicated. So this is my way of training you to be able to do these problems if you take later science classes or later math classes, or heaven forbid you take a science class in college. So this is me training you for this. Also, this column, the first one with all the lines, is absolutely the most critical part of any of these problems. If you don't make a good data table, you can't know which one of the 8 million equations to choose. But this column, this part of the problem, will tell you every single time which one to use. All right, so let me show you what I mean by that. Number 1 says, a solution was prepared by dissolving 18.3 milliliters of KNO3 in 75 milliliters of water. What is the volume percent of this solution? Okay, so word problems are difficult. This step here, the first column of your little table, is what turns a word problem into a not word problem. That's our goal. Because not word problems are easy. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to look for numbers, and then we're going to try to figure out what those numbers are, like what their variable is. So the first number I see, so I'm going to make my little chart here so that it looks like your paper. I did a pretty good job of that. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to write equals 18.3 milliliters. It's important for me to have the number on the right-hand side of the equal side because that's the most common thing that we see. We normally see x equals something, y equals something. We want this to be easy and like natural for us. All right, so now we have to look at the unit. Is milliliters weight or is it volume?
Volume.
It's volume. Okay, so if I'm not sure about that, or I get test anxiety, I'm at the test and I don't know what to choose, I don't know what it is, I can look at my purple sheet and I'm going to just, I'm panically finding milliliters and I see it and it's right next to the word that says volume. That would be a good way for me to know that that's volume. So now I need to decide if this is volume of solute, solvent, or solution. Okay, the solvent in all of these problems is always going to be water. So if you have something of water, that has to be the something of solvent. So does this say 18.3 milliliters of water? So it's not that. All right, in order for it to be the solute, you're going to see of a compound. In order for it to be solution, you will see the words solution. sometimes you also see like total. So use this little like key to translate what the words from your word problem mean into like things that make sense in your mind. So does the 18.3 milliliters say of solution? So it must be then that 18.3 milliliters is of solute. I think the easiest way is to do process of elimination. Check to see if it's of water. If it's not, then cross that off. And then check to see if it says of solution. If it's not that, then it has to be solute. I think that one's the hardest one because it's the one that changes. These other two are constant. Okay, so then the next thing that my problem says is that I have 75.0 milliliters of something else. So I've already used the solute, so that's already taken care of. Is my 75 milliliters of solvent or of solution? Solvent, correct, because it says of water. And then the last thing will be, what is my question mark? So here it says, what is the V% of this solution? It is just as critical to write down what is the question mark as it is to write down what everything else is. When you get to this point, whatever you have as question mark is going to be what you need to solve for. But first we need to find a formula. So I'm going to use this part of my problem, this data table, to find which of the formulas here have all three of those things. There is only one. There's one that could be possible, and that might be number 3, but it can't be number 3 because we don't have a weight of anything. So in my mind, that means I have to use formula number from the purple sheet, number 2. So because I've already given you all of the different formulas solved for the variable, technically you could skip step or like that column 2, but I'm not going to. So this is column 2. I'm going to write volume percent equals volume of solute divided by volume of solution times 100. Now the next step says to solve for my unknown. What that means is whatever has question mark has to be alone on the left side of the mathematical equation. Is question mark alone on the left side of this equation? Okay, so then step 2 and step 3 are the same. Do you need to copy it? No. But now if I look at this, and I start to think about, I'm going to put numbers in now. So in my fourth bracket, or my fourth box of my table, 18.3 milliliters goes on top. How do I know? I'm looking for volume of solute, excuse me. So I just find where it says that on the table. It makes it really pretty simple. But there's a little bit of a problem here because volume of solution is not the same as volume of solvent. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, we have to remember from the very, very beginning, what was the first thing you wrote down in your notes for this unit? Go back and look.
Solutions.
Say that again, Joseph.
Solutions.
Right after that, what did you write? We wrote it across the board, like in a row.
You add solutions.
Solute plus solvent equals solution. So how do we figure out what the denominator of this fraction should be? We just add solute plus solvent, and that's it. But remember that, oops, shoot, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that. I'm just gonna move it. I am brain dead. Before you can like put the equal sign, that is times 100 because it's a percent. And so I don't remember what the answer for this is. But if you don't put your parentheses around this before you put it into your calculator, you'll get a wrong answer. So, caution. I get as my answer 19.6%. Okay, so just like in all of these problems, or like in all of the problems we've had ever before, how many significant figures should you have? There's 3 and there's 3, so you should have 3. I have 3. My unit is going to also be important. I took off a lot of points on the last homework because you didn't write units down, so make sure you're careful. The unit here is percent. How do I know? Go back to look at what you have to the left of your equal sign. That's where it'll tell you. How did this go? It's actually pretty fun and easy because they're all the same. What the what? Oh. All right, let's do one more and then I will give you the rest of the time off. All right, so let me just make sure number 2 is also on one. Okay, perfect. All right, so number 2 says, how many grams of sugar would you need to prepare 20 milliliters of a 0.9% weight per volume solution? Okay, so I see equals 20.0 milliliters. And so I'm gonna write this down again here. Solute, solvent, solution. Okay, so 20 milliliters is what? Is it volume or weight? Volume. It is volume. So now we have to go to our little list. Is 20 milliliters volume of solvent? Does it say 20 milliliters of water? Does it say 20 milliliters of solution? It does. The word solution doesn't come right after the 20 milliliters, but it does come a little bit later. So that has to be volume of solution then. All right, so we've got that one taken care of. And then it gives me the percent. So I've got that 0.90%. Percent is your unit. And then it tells me that's WT per V. That's weight per volume. So what's question mark? Well, here I'm going to have to go and look at like the actual words. Sorry. Correct. Okay, so what made you think that, Logan?
I looked at number 3 for equation.
Yeah. So you can use your formula sheet to help inform you about what else you should need. And so Logan is saying, well, I saw that I had this. So I looked quick at equation number 3 on my purple sheet, and it says if you have the percent and the total volume of solution, what the last thing that you don't have is that weight of solution. But also the words tell you how many grams of sugar. And so it used grams, that's a weight. And then it said of a compound that has to be solute. And so then Logan said, I need number 3 from my purple sheet. WT per V equals weight of solute divided by volume of solution times 100. So In my second step though, or sorry, this is second step. In my third step, I don't have weight solution by itself on the left side. So I'm gonna have to choose from my purple sheet or from what I know about algebra. Oh. Damn it. And so I'm going to choose the second permutation of it. So it'll be weight per volume percent times volume of solution divided by 100. And now you can just put your numbers in. 0.90%, 20 milliliters divided by 100. I believe you get 1.8. How many significant figures should you have? 2. What should be your unit? Well done. That was some pretty hard work we just did. You should feel pretty proud of yourself if you made it through this and you're not ready to hate me yet. It's not terrible, but it does take some time. We will spend all of next class working on this again. And so if you want to work through some problems, you can. You don't have to. You don't have to. I would stick to the ones that have the percent sign on them because those will be the ones that you're probably most able to do. But if you want to give the others a go, good for you.